Alright guys, pardon me for being lazy. This is like the third time I've made this video. It's a bit of a pain to get on camera. Not sure how. Yeah, it kind of sucks because I'm kind of new to this whole video making thing. I have my camera duct taped to a speaker stand right now on my table, and that's what I'm working off of. I guess a little intro to this is the first time I took apart my spyderco backlock. I didn't know how to get it back together. It took me forever. I didn't really see any good tutorials on YouTube, so I thought I'd make one. This is kind of my intro to the YouTube knife making video crap. So here it is. Most of you guys can get to here if you've taken apart your or whatever backlock you have all the way. If you guys notice carefully, mine is mirror polished. I kind of polished up all the surfaces that have moving parts just to make it smoother. I guess why don't we get into the tutorial? First of all, if you could get to that stage, what you want to do next is put your liner here. This will help you keep this plastic pin from moving. What some people try to do is when they first put this together, they'll try to put all the blade washers in here first before they put on this liner, which would be the smart thing to do in most cases, except that Spyderco makes this backstop that has this plastic pin in it not rigid enough, and if you do that, this plastic pin would not fit in this liner, and that was a pain in the ass to figure out. So the easiest way to do this is with rubber bands. What I found is that I need to tie this backlock down with the rubber band. By doing that, you keep the lock mechanism open. Sorry for that. And this will help you put your knife back together. Next part is kind of like a circus trick. You're going to have to stick your washer in one side, and then you're going to have to flip your phosphor bronze bushings inside. What I have here is a floss pick. Tail end, that's plastic, won't scratch up anything. Comes in handy. So what you do is, I don't know if you guys can see that, you push your washer in over your pivot pin. Apply your pivot pin slightly up. Next, you'll get your blade. Ooh, gotta be careful. One-handed sharp. And you'll kind of lift up your liner a little bit and slide it on top. Make sure your bottom pivot pin doesn't move out of position, and then you'll push it in. We still have one more washer, so we got to back this pin back out a little bit, just enough to flip the pivot pin from the side in between the blade and the pivot. You guys see that? Alright, this is where I screwed up last time and dropped the pivot right out, and the whole blade fell apart, so I just canceled. You show it. So take some monkeying around to get in. You want to be careful not to force it, because if you do, you'll punch out part of your washer. So there you go. That was probably the hardest part. You want to take off your band next. Most of you guys can take it from here, but I guess I'll just finish it off. Just a tutorial. Check the function of the knife, make sure both washers are in. Feels super smooth, do the polish job. If you guys are interested, I could actually make a video on how I did that also. For those of you who never opened your knife, you'll probably have to open up to do that polish job. Put everything together. I really recommend you guys putting all your screws and everything into a box or something when you work on your knife, just because it'll keep everything from being lost. I can't tell you how many times I've been on the floor looking for stuff. Screw in your body screws. You want to make sure you don't over tighten them, because you can't strip these screws. I know torque screws are less prone to stripping than a flathead or Phillips head, but you still can strip these. If you look, I'll probably post another video on what to do if you have a stripped screw. I haven't had any problems with this nice as much. Oh frick, I'm just off frame, aren't I? And that duct tape cabinet. Get on. There we go. Alright, change the torque bits, spin in the pivot last. Make sure you have that metal washer on there. I know that's one of the pieces that I've lost before. Put that in. Test whether it's too tight or not. I'd usually opt for a little bit of blade play just for smoothness of action, although it's really smooth right now. I kind of like it when it just drops when you release the lock. So I'm going to loosen it up just a hair, and you'll see that a little bit more, that my Endura ZDP 189 dropped. I think I first saw this when I saw Jay Davis's video on his, I think it was a stretch that he sharpened up for someone. He had a stone wash and everything. Mine, it just has the polished faces. You can see it drops instantly. There is a little bit of blade play, nothing significant. I just prefer it that way, just so it comes out real quick. Alright, thanks guys.